The introductory module for this series noted that the core technology you need to fulfill your dreams for a better world exists, but established practices and systems for interchanging value are in fact inhibitors to your ability to change the world. Interchange of value is of course nothing new. It's thought that humans began bartering with each other some 8,000 years ago, but understanding why radical change is necessary requires a brief review of how interchange has evolved over the course of those 8,000 years. Verifying authenticity of goods is a primary concern for barter-based interchanges, as all parties must protect themselves against receiving misrepresented value. Otherwise, they may have little recourse after the fact should a problem ensue. But as modern innovative interchanges have become more complex, the need to manage both authenticity and trust has become a major roadblock. In the barter system, inspection of goods was really the only way to prove authenticity and validate value. Barter could be a very inconvenient arrangement, however, especially when interchanging goods that were difficult to transport. This led to the evolution of certain portable items becoming generally accepted as a medium of exchange. Gold, silver, precious stones, and the like, but it also made authenticity harder and introduced the need for a level of trust in the trading partner. It's easy to tell that a cow is really a cow, but was that lump of metal really 24-karat gold? Around the 7th century BC, the kings of Lydia began punching their marks into electrum nuggets, guaranteeing that each could be trusted as a carrier of a specific value of precious metal. It was still necessary to reach confidence that the nuggets received were authentic, but the penalties of counterfeiting were so severe that, as long as the bond between king and value was accepted, these nuggets helped remove some of the friction from interchange. The use of trusted carriers of value succeeded because it shifted the need to have trust in a partner to trust in the sovereign, usually, but not always, a safer proposition. Over time, those stamped nuggets of electrum were replaced with precious metal coinage, minted with increasingly sophisticated measures to better assure authenticity. Eventually, precious metal coinage was replaced by paper currency that represented an equivalent in metals held by the issuer, introducing the notion of currency as a bearer instrument representing value located somewhere else. The bearer of that currency could march right up to the issuing institution and exchange the paper for the amount of gold it represented. The bearer of these instruments trusted that the institution that issued it had the gold to back it up. But again, they still had to be satisfied that the instrument itself was authentic. This was the trust anchor underlying world economies until the early 1970s, when governments began shifting from currencies backed by gold to fiat currencies, backed only by the government's declaration that such currency was legal tender for payment of debts. This system works when governments are stable, but begins to fall apart when trust in the government falters. One last point of historical observation is that humans have always felt it necessary to keep their own records of all interchanges. In fact, some of the earliest known writings on clay tablets does nothing more than list out inventories and accounts, as accurate record-keeping is necessary to, once again, manage trust. Even as ledgers have moved from clay to paper to electronic bits, the fact remains that everyone still holds their own books, as has been the case for millennia. Although the medium of interchange shifted from precious metals to metal-backed bearer instruments to fiat currencies, what never changed is the concept of a transactional system of interchange, point-to-point, centralized, and scrupulously recorded by each individual party. The final module of this series will examine why transactional systems are insufficient to support the forms of multi-party digital exchanges that are emerging today.